Hi, how you going? It's your mate Volstride, and today I'm going to bring you my first base building guide and show you how to build a lake house like the one you see on screen now. Let's check it out. The location we're building at today is -76, -446 over near the Ravine Entrance Way Shrine, which is by this lavender field. Now I chose this location because this lavender field is a really nice aesthetic spot and the river itself has a really nice sunset. So we're going to orient our build so that we get a really good view from the windows. Now in case you're wondering, the original build I showed you at the intro was over at -278, -583. But the really cool thing about this lake house is you can pretty much build it on any lake throughout the map as long as you've got enough room. So it's really flexible, really versatile, and it's just a good solid build to have in your inventory. So the very first thing you want to do before anything else is just make sure you get the leveling right so that when you're out building over the water, you get 2 levels and the bottom level sits just atop the water line. Now the way I recommend you do this is via trial and error, and just start with one foundation piece up on the riverbank and then test its height by running that foundation out to the river's edge. And when you get there, swap to the wooden roof, which is then going to let you place a couple of pillars at the end, and you should see that the base of these pillars sits just at the top of the water, meaning when you place pillars below it and you delete these, you get these stumps just at the top of the water line. Now you can confirm this is the right height by putting in a wall and then going a wooden roof on top here, or at the base of it, sorry, so that it sits just at the top of the water. So that's exactly the height you want. Now that we know we're at the right height with that original piece of foundation, we can go ahead and delete all this. Now I will say you're gonna have trouble deleting these, especially if you've tried it a few times and had to adjust the height. So I would recommend just destroying these pillars instead of trying to delete them, and then you can just leave it there and we can continue building. Once we have the leveling right, we want to expand on the foundation we already have to create the landing area. So we're going to start with what you see here and turn it into this. So this should be 5 long by 4 wide, and now we're ready to lay down our power box and get started on the foundation for the house itself. So I like to position the power box in the middle towards the front of the landing area, and then we want to go ahead and lay some stairs so that we can get up there. Once we've done that, we need to come back to the lakeside and put in the pillars so that we can continue to build further over the lake. Otherwise, you're going to get the no support error message. So once you've laid those, you want to come back and start laying the actual foundation for the house. Now this is going to be 6 long by 4 wide. So you can see there, 6 long means it sticks out on either side by 1. And then you want to go 2 across to start with, come back again and lay your pillars, because you can only expand 2 sets of floor without pillar. So you got to do it 2 at a time like you saw there. And then you can come back like we're doing here and add another 2 layers. And then you can go ahead and add the pillars underneath those. And in the end, you should have something like this. And as you can see from a bird's eye view, it's 4 by 6. The next thing you want to do is start putting in the walls and roofs. So I like to start with these triangle pieces and then add the door frame. These are in the middle 2 squares of the 4 by 6 block. Then you want to go ahead and lay the stone block on the other side and create that cutout. Now I like to use stone here just to create a bit of texture. And then I go and get the glass triangle here and delete this panel. So that's eventually going to be our step down to the underneath level. Then you want to start adding in your triangle roofs. You don't want to do the middle bit just yet because we're going to come back to that in a minute and add some flooring so that we can get to it properly. But you should just add the outer triangles. You can do both layers here, and then you want to start adding that floor. Now this is a bit of a pain, but it is just going to be temporary so that we can get a wall in and add the roof or connect the roof to it. I think that that roof's going to get in our way, so we just want to add a wall here and then re-add the roof. Gonna need some more wall, pop the roof in on both sides, turn it around, and then go back inside, and we should be able to delete all that framework. Then we want to start adding the glass walls. Now you want to make sure these are offset from the outside by 1 foundation piece so that you get the outer kind of alcove area. Then add the wall on the other side as well, and voila, you should end up with this. Next, we want to start laying the bottom story, but first we're going to add 2 more panels to the front of the house here and then add the pillars underneath those. So you want to make sure you do this on both sides. Then you can go ahead and start deleting all the inner pillars, but you only want to delete the top ones, not the ones in the water, so we can lay floor on those later. You also want to leave the internal ones around this cutout so you can lay the glass stairs. And then you want to start laying the bottom story floorboards, which is going to be 3 panels wide, and it's going to stick out from the house by 2 panels on one of the sides. and then you want to add pillars to that. Delete the top layer, just leave the bottom, and that's going to be it. The bottom story is ready to go. Hey, you've reached the midway point in this video and we're done with all the structural stuff now, and next we're going to move on to the furnishings. But before we do that, let me know in the comments down below at the corners for where you're going to build your lake house. Let's get started with the bar over there, and then we'll fill out the rest of this decking area before we move underneath. And I'm thinking a couple more bars and maybe even a hot tub or two. Upstairs, let's start with a fireplace on that wall and the bedroom in this corner, and then we'll fill out the rest of the space with a kitchen and living area before moving outside to have an outdoor decking. And there we have it, the lake house is finished. I'll do a quick fly around so that you can see everything tie together, and then I'll jump in and walk through it so you can see the inside as well. Now, if I did go too fast for you, I'm also going to leave a video link in the description down below to an unlisted video on my channel that is going to have the full structural part of the build in more detail without any editing or any jumping around. It's obviously going to be a pretty boring video, but at least it should be easier for you to follow along in case any of the edits and the cuts were too fast for you. So if you're missing something or you feel like it didn't come together quite right, definitely go and check that out. Other than that, let me know if you like the build. Remember to subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. And with that being said, thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Have a good one.